I'd like to call the Tuesday, March 5th, 2019 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Mrs. Brown, would you please take the roll?
Sunday. Here. Mumgard. Gaines. Here. Glover. Here. Jaworski. Here. Klug. Here. Stubbe. Here. Engberg. Here.
Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
Yes, we do.
And a current copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the council chambers. We don't have any presentations tonight. Ms. Myers, Administrator's report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. We had a couple of awards over the last couple of weeks that I wanted to share with you this evening. The police department held their annual award ceremony on Sunday, so I want to congratulate all the award recipients. Also a special congratulations to Matt Elsasser as Officer of the Year, and Todd Dudas was the Civilian Employee of the Year. So congratulations to those two gentlemen and all of the award recipients. Also, we announced our Employee of the Year a couple weeks ago. Again, that was Diana Houston. She was named as the 2018 City Employee, well, I guess 19 City Employee of the Year. Diana handles the city's payroll processing, and she's the most popular employee in the city every 2 weeks. So congratulations, Diana, and thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Lastly, just want to remind the F&A committee members, who are council members Glover, Engberg, Klug, and Mumgard, that we have a meeting next, or I guess 2 weeks, on Tuesday, March 19th at 5 p.m. And we're going to discuss water and sewer rates. We did our study and have some results from that, some preliminary results. And lastly, the Sarpy Chamber Grand Giveaway is next Tuesday, March 12th from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Scott Conference Center. We have seats available, so if any council members, department heads would like to attend, please let Kendra know. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilwoman Klug, second by Councilman Sunday. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item D1, Ordinance 1835, an ordinance to approve a change of zone from AG Agricultural to R4 Multifamily Residential for the property legally described as a replatting of Lot 1, Siebold Acres. A subdivision is surveyed, platted, and recorded in Sarpy County, Nebraska, together with tax lots 3 and 4 in the south half of the southwest quarter of Section 32, Township 14 North, Range 12 East of the 6 p.m. Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the northwest corner of South 114th Street and Schramm Road. The applicant is Pinecrest Homes, LLC, Ashbury Creek 2. Is there a council member that will introduce? Introduced by Councilman Gaines. Item D2, Ordinance 1837, an ordinance to approve a change of zone from AG Agricultural to MU Mixed Use for the property legally described as Tax Lot 3A1A1, located in the southwest quarter of Section 2, Township 13 North, Range 11 East of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the northwest corner of South 150th Street and Capehart Road. The applicant is Raven Northbrook LLC. It's Sarpy County Power Park West Edition. Is there a council member that will introduce? Introduced by Councilwoman Klug. Item E1, Ordinance 1831, an ordinance to amend Chapter 205 Zoning Ordinance, Article 22, having to do with MU Mixed Use District. The applicant is the City of Papillion. This is a public hearing, and I'll open it. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? I'll close the public hearing. Item E2, Ordinance 1832, an ordinance to amend Section 205-270, Section 205-272, and Section 205-288, all of Article 38, Wireless Telecommunications Facilities of Chapter 205, the Papillion Municipal Code, having to do with small wireless facilities and small wireless facility support poles. The applicant is the City of Papillion. This is, again, a public hearing. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Anybody neutral? Close the public hearing. Item E3, Ordinance 1833, an ordinance to approve a change of zone from LC Limited Commercial to CC Community Commercial for the property legally described as Lot 4, Summerfield Second Edition, generally located at 780 Pinnacle Drive. The applicant is Jared Reese, St. Martha's Episcopal Church. This is a public hearing. I'll open it. Do we have any proponents? And if you'd state your name for the record.
Good evening, Mayor Black and members of the council. My name is Jared Reese. I'm a board member at St. Martha's Episcopal Church, here today to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other proponents? And if you'd state your name for the record.
Hello, I'm Angela Olafson, and I am the owner of All About Kids Childcare. And I would like to have approval to have my signage, my name on St. Martha's, under their, on their signage. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other proponents? Do we have any opponents? Close the public hearing. Item F1, and the vote will be in 2 weeks. Item F1, Resolution R190029, a resolution to approve a final plat for the property legally described as a platting of Tax Lot 20E, the north 10 feet of Tax Lot 21, and Tax Lot 20C, Section 27, Township 14 North, Range 12 East, Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located at 830 South Madison Street and 831 South Harrison Street. The applicants are Ashley and Jacob Miller, Miller's Paradise. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R190029? Motion by Councilman Ingberg. Second by Councilman Stube. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item F2, Resolution R190038. Resolution to approve a filing extension until December 31st, 2019 for the Miller's Paradise final plat for the property legally described as a platting of Tax Lot 20E, the north 10 feet of Tax Lot 21, and Tax Lot 20C, Section 27, Township 14 North, Range 12 East, Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located at 830 South Madison Street and 831 South Harrison Street. The applicants are Ashley and Jacob Miller, Miller's Paradise. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R190038? Motion by Councilman Sunday. Second by Councilman Ingberg. Do we have any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Ms. Klug.
I just wanted to verify, this is the first time they've ever asked for an extension on this, right?
I believe so, but Mr. Sturzman, can you verify that?
Correct. This is the previous application was for a lot line adjustment, but because it was an older part of town that had never been platted, they had to plat the property before they could adjust the lot line. And in filing the final plat, the homeowners would have to pay the entire year's worth of taxes. So they're asking for a bit of an extension so they can pay their taxes in phases. So they can basically file the final plat a few months later for that purpose.
Okay, very good. No, I just was curious because several years back we had a couple people that asked for extensions repeatedly, and I just wanted to verify this is the first time that they've asked.
It is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F3, Resolution R190031, a public hearing and a vote. A resolution to approve a preliminary plat for the property legally described as Lot 72 North Shore Commercial, generally located on the northwest corner of South 126th Street and Highway 370. The applicant is BHI Development North Shore Commercial Replat 1. This is a public hearing. Do we have any proponents? And if you'd state your name for the record.
I'm Kyle Hazy with E&A Consulting Group, 10909 Mill Valley Road, representing the applicant BHI Development. The property that we are discussing today is in the northwest corner of Highway 370, as seen here, in 126th Street. To give a little feel for where this is located, Warner Park is just off to the northeast of the site. The site is currently zoned mixed use. This is a site plan This is an exhibit showing what is currently anticipated in the mixed use. It involves a mix of office, restaurant, retail, residential. There is a church and hotel as well. Get this right, directed right, same way. The property is roughly 26 acres. Currently, the plat has this, what is called Street B, come through. The city has recommended that we can continue or complete that loop. So we have added this outlot, which would be preserved for a street to complete that loop back to 126th Street. Besides the city requesting that loop be completed, in the lower corner, there is also, which can be seen here, there is a proposed office user in line, so that is also getting this or kicking this plat off. This is some elevations of the proposed user. I will let you guess who that user is. And then this is more of a bird's eye view of those elevations as well. And I'll make myself available to council or anybody in the audience for questions that they have.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other proponents? Do we have any opponents? Close the public hearing. Do we have a motion to approve Resolution R190031? Motion by Councilman Ingberg. Second by Councilman Glover. Any council discussion? Mr. Ingberg.
Just a quick question. It's a little hard to tell from here. What part of the elevation actually faces Highway 370? Is that the office user we just saw? Is that what primarily faces 370?
Yes. This is a view from 370 itself. It'd approximately be located at this location.
Okay.
And this would be the view.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you. Mr. Stubbe.
Yeah, so I want to look at that also and say that looks like more than just a bank, and I know that's something that we've talked about, having more office. So what's proposed here other than a bank?
Pinnacle will have some of their offices as well, as long with a branch, and then there'll be additional office space for lease.
Okay, thank you.
How much additional office space? And I'm also curious, how many retailers?
There'll be, right now there's no proposed retailers within this use. It'll be strictly office. It is a 17,000 square foot office. I do not know what the breakdown is split between Pinnacle and additional office users, or what they're going to lease out.
Any other council discussion? I'll close the public hearing. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R19? Motion by Councilman Stubbe, second by Councilman Ingberg. Any other council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F4, Resolution R190032, a public hearing and a vote, a resolution to approve the Fourth Amendment to the Eagle View Subdivision Agreement. Open the public hearing. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Close the public hearing. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R190032? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Jaworski. Any council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
It's all the regular agenda items. I think the audit committee did meet. Mr. Ingberg, is there a report?
Thank you, Mayor. The chairman, Councilman Mumgarden, was absent tonight, so I took the meeting, filling as chairperson. We had a couple items on the agenda tonight. One was the review of the 2017-2018 audit, the city audit. What we saw tonight was the draft version. I went through the draft, and without commenting a great deal because it's not the formal final draft. So far, it's going very well. There's been no material or compliance issues at this point, and I know it'll be submitted for the award we've been receiving lately. Eventually, it'll come back to the council, the next council meeting for adoption of the audit, the formal adoption. And Jody Rennie will be here from Bergen KAV to present it to the full council. The second item we discussed was the cash procedure. It was an update from Nancy Hypes, the finance director, and I'll let her correct me if I misspeak. You may recall that some time ago, there were a couple of departments that internally came up with a procedure for handling cash transactions. And at this point, Nancy has obtained draft policies for every department that does handle cash transactions in the city, and we'll be reviewing those. And probably sometime between March and June, those policies will be formalized, and they'll be done administratively to become policy of the city. That way, it can be adapted or changed much quicker if need be. But I'm sure the council will see those policies, although we won't be directly involved in a vote. Let's see, is there anything else? I think that'll summarize what we did. But the important thing to remember, we're very careful with the cash handling procedures, and I compliment Nancy and her staff for really watching that, and Chris and Amber as well. They're doing an excellent job with the audit. We heard a lot of compliments again tonight from Jody from KB. So I want to thank them for all their hard work.
I want to thank all the council that are involved in that, and especially to Nancy and her staff. We got some students here and people watching this. We have external audits done every year, and part of that's required by state law, but we actually go an extra level. The award that he mentioned is an extra report we do when we send out to a peer review of professionals, and that's not required to do. Not a lot of cities do that. It's called the CAFR Award, and we go well above and beyond, and a lot of that's about transparency of financial information, and we actually have gotten recognized 8 years in a row, for doing that. So Nancy, thank you very much for that. And what we do to make sure we're mixing it up and always have a different set of eyes, the audit committee is 4 council members, and every year the makeup of the committee changes, so we get different eyes. Each year I'll take 2 of the council members from the previous year, bring them forward so there's a consistent set of eyes, but then add 2 new ones so there's a fresh set of eyes, and we continue to rotate that every year. So thank you very much.
One thing I should mention as well, primarily because he wasn't there tonight, Tom Mumgard, Councilman Mumgard was approved as new chairman.
Never miss a meeting.
Or be late to one. But he is the new chairman for the audit committee.
All right, thank you very much. Any comments from the floor? We've got some students here. You want to come up and introduce yourselves and let us know what brings you? And you got to do it because we'll wait. Go ahead and come on, just start lining up. All 2 of you.
Hi, I'm Kelly Williams. I go to Omaha Marian High School. And for our AP U.S. Government and Politics class, we have to observe a government process, so I chose to come to the city council meeting.
Thank you.
I'm here from Papillion, the Vista South High School, and I'm here for a project and my honors government class. So that's why I'm here. Thank you very much.
Any other comments from the floor? Council comments. Mr. Sunday, can you turn your microphone on too?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to take this opportunity to commend Mr. Thompson and his road crews under very difficult, trying circumstances, and the mayor's wise declarations of road emergencies. I probably called it the wrong thing, but I think just traveling around town and seeing how Papillion's handled the snows compared to some other communities, you're doing a really good job and should be commended. And I'm just curious, how are we standing for salt supplies and gravel supplies and things like that?
We have about 300 tons left. We're using about 100 ton an event, depending upon, the type of moisture that we're getting. We had some heavy winds today that we were dealing with, drifting and refreeze across some of the roadways, but we're sitting okay for salt right now. The problem isn't necessarily that there's not salt quantity available. It's getting it here because of the trucking industry. They've got the new electronic logging systems. It's driving those guys crazy and making it tough for them to put more hours on the road. And then with the weather, the inclement weather, it's making road conditions difficult for them to travel as well. So we've reached out to other agencies, and we're borrowing and sharing across county lines, and working our way around it to make sure that everybody's getting enough salt to keep the road safe. So appreciate the kudos.
Mr. Sunday, thank you for making that comment and just being able to listen to what they do. I just want to again share for for people in the audience and residents. One of our very experienced plow drivers, and I think he's probably one of the most positive guys. I saw him make a comment after that weekend storm and said it is the toughest situation he had been involved in. And I understand from, I think Ms. Myers had mentioned to me, she had heard in some cases because of the wind and the blowing and how it was, and then they're plowing and the snow's come up. Some of them literally couldn't see past their windshields. It literally was whiteout blizzards they were dealing with all night long, tired. And I think Mr. Thompson might have even debated about pulling them off the roads for a while. So again, I think it tells you the dedication of the people involved. So Jeff, thank you very much. And I know the events keep hitting and they're tired. And then they, during the day, they still got to do their regular job. And then we ask them to fill potholes on top of it all. So they are extremely tired. So again, Mr. Sunday, thank you for recognizing them. And on the note on the snow emergency, we do get that question periodically. There are some communities that call them on a pretty regular basis, and I think there's times staff would like to call them, but I'm a little leery sometimes of calling them because it's kind of like playing chicken. If you declare it and it doesn't hit, and then people don't take them serious. And so that was, I think, the first one we had declared. So again, a good opportunity for education, so thank you. Any other council comments? Just a couple things from the last couple of weeks. We had the personnel committee had an appreciation lunch for employees at the Papillion Landing. That was always a nice thing to do. Mr. Mumgard, myself, and a number of staff attended the League of Nebraska Municipalities Midwinter Conference. And then Ms. Myers and I, Ms. Powers and I attended the wastewater agency meeting. Nothing really happened at this time. It was just more some update presentations of the direction we're going with the wastewater agency. But again, a reminder for folks, the votes have been taken and they were unanimous of which phases open up, phase 1A. So basically Highway 50 down to Springfield, a little bit around Springfield, and then in Papillion's jurisdiction, what's called Zweibel Creek 3, which is basically roughly 60th to 72nd, maybe 84th, from Capehart down to Platteview Road is the next area to open up. So the decision point we're in now is finding the funding source to start laying pipe and putting plants in. The presentation was in regards to financial assumptions and some state loan funds to help jumpstart that, and those assumptions were accepted. So now we're working on that loan application to get that going through the agency. Also, thank you for everybody. We had a great attendance at the topping off ceremony for Papillion Landing for the community center. Thanks for everybody that showed up. That was a neat event. People not aware, that was more for the contractors and the people that do the steel. They've got a ceremony where the last piece of structural steel gets placed. Anybody involved in the project kind of signs it. They put the American flag on it and a tree on it, and you can drive by and it's still up there. So that was a big day. So congratulations, Lori, and thank you for that, and thank you to Sampson Construction. We also had a United Cities meeting. Everything we're doing right now is legislative. All the legislation has been introduced, and so now the state legislature is having hearings on everything that's been introduced. Not all the senators have placed their priority bills yet, so we're still waiting to see what's that, and some bills are starting to make their way onto the floor for debate. So we're in a real active period as the senators are negotiating on bills. We're trying to stay updated every day of what those negotiations are, so then we can be involved, either support, influence, or oppose. And we've got some that we're actively monitoring, and we have sent position letters down to the legislature already. So if you have any questions on anything, it does change daily. Probably the best thing is reach out to Ms. Myers if you've got a bill you want to be following or want to know what's going on. Again, the reminder of the Sarpy Chamber Grand Giveaways Tuesday. If you want to attend that, let us know. And then the police department is doing 2 academies. One's a Citizens Academy and one is a Kids Academy. Citizen Academy is full, which is a wonderful thing. And that actually is kicking off tonight. And the Kids Academy sign-up is open now, I believe. So if anybody has kids that want to learn about policing, get involved in the Kids Academy. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Glover, second by Councilwoman Klug. Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
We are adjourned.